Hey, Lindsay, Walton, professional team builder here. I'm posting 3 recommended reading videos today. This is the second one, and this is the book that I'd like to share with you. What Do You Do with a Problem? Written by Kobi, Yamada, illustrated by Besom. And by the way, Besom, if you ever see this video, I love your work. This book in particular is absolutely amazing. Now, the value that I see in this book as a facilitation and a team building tool, it really helps to remind us that as big as a problem might seem, as complex as we make things sometimes, life is actually very simple. We as human beings are usually the ones making it more complicated than it needs to be. This book takes us back to the basics to help us navigate anything. And so here are the basics of the story and the amazing artwork. We have somebody who's experiencing a problem, and it starts off small, but it's bothersome and it's not really going away. And the person realizes that the problem is getting bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where it feels like it's following them everywhere, pestering them, taking over their lives, making them afraid that they might lose their things as a result of this particular problem. And so when the person is reaching this sense of just absolutely being, swallowed alive, they end up realizing, well, the only way I can actually make this go away is to face it head on. And when they go on to tackle that problem, they end up discovering something absolutely wonderful and amazing, and that's that this terrifying problem actually held an opportunity. Now, what I really like about this particular book is that it highlights that some of those opportunities that are found within these big complex problems, they only come along once in a lifetime. So it's important to grab a hold of those opportunities while they're there in order to make the most of them and see where that takes you. Now, when would you use this book? This is such a fantastic book to either front load a difficult conversation or to use as a support resource if your team is already going through a challenge. So I'll explain what I mean by that. If you've gotten your numbers back and you know, oh my goodness, our finances are garbage, we are going into a make or break period where we're going to have to give it our all, and that's going to decide whether we keep going or go under. That's not a small challenge for your team to face. That can seem terrifying, complex. And so reading this book, just saying, we have a very difficult problem or challenge that we need to discuss with you as a team. Before we have that conversation, though, I'd like to read this book to you. And as strange as it might seem, what a great front load. It helps people to go back to the basics so that when they hear the numbers and hear more about the challenge that you're going to be taking on for the next quarter, it's in a better perspective. If you have a team that's already been going through a challenge and people are feeling swamped and wondering, are we ever going to make it through? Helping to remind people that it's not just about surviving it and living in this problem day to day, but actually tackling it. How do you go on the offensive, dive head first? There are opportunities here and we want to grab a hold of them. It can get a team to shift from just existing and trying to survive a problem to tackling the problem, getting in there, actually thriving in an environment of challenge. And so just, we're the ones as grown-ups who make things more complicated than they need to be. Books like this help us to go back to the basics, the core foundational skills that we need for navigating a challenge of any kind. And just by the way, this book can also come in really handy. Sometimes when we just share it, just for fun, there's a staff lunch or, the teacher sits down with their students at lunchtime and just says, I want to read a story for you. This message resonates with so many people because they have a secret problem, a secret challenge, something that they're afraid to share with other people. And so they're living in their own personal storm. Well, facilitators, team builders know that anybody going through a personal storm, that ends up leaking out into the rest of the team. It is impacting the team dynamic somehow, to some degree. When we read stories like this and empower individuals to be able to say, this is what I'm going through, or to realize, oh my goodness, I have to confess to this, or I need to tell this person this and have that challenging conversation, just really good things happen. So whether you read it to your team, make it available on a shelf somewhere, give it out as a gift, whatever it is, I can just highly recommend this is a fantastic team building and facilitation tool. But having said that, what are your thoughts on this book? If you grab a copy and read it, can you tell me what you think about it in the comments? Also, if you think this might be a useful tool for somebody, be sure to share this video with them, and remember to subscribe because I'm going to share lots more tools for anybody who likes to geek out about team building and is interested in facilitation. So with that, I've got one more video to post. Make sure you stick around for that. I'll see you there. Bye.